there's been a development. So I saw a YouTube video with someone using White Nights watercolor, and I thought, wait a minute, White Nights watercolor, that's the stuff that everybody says is the bottom of the professional line. It's goes, you know, you have your top tier brands, and then you have the lowest of the low of professional quality. That's your White Nights. That's what everyone's always said. And then I saw that they had some granulating paints. Now I know that these are not going to be what I want them to be. But I picked up a set. They were pretty inexpensive for a 12-pan set. Was like $30-something. That's not bad at all. That's pretty reasonable. I think, well, they were on sale a little bit, but not much. I think normally they're like $40, and then I think they ended up being like 36 or something like that. But anyway, I just want to see. I'm going to swatch them out. We're going to talk about them. I am going to do a painting with them. I may do it in the same video this time. And I want to see how granulating they are and how student grade they are. I'm going to do, to be fair, because everybody's going to yell at me, I'm going to try and use a bigger swatch so I can put a lot more water at the bottom where things are supposed to granulate. I can see the granulation without all the extra water, but people tell me I'm doing it wrong. So I'll do it that way. I have no problem with that. And let's see how far we get with this. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, so this is the set here. And it looks like this. Now, I've not seen this one swatched out on YouTube anywhere. This is the, well, I can't read that. This is the Granulation and Natural Earth set. So there's most of them are granulating, but some of them are just the Natural Earth set part of that. And they don't, according to this, they don't granulate at least. Now I gotta take that back. Every one of them have a little G for granulation. So it doesn't look like they did on the color swatches I saw online, but I guess they do here. But like I said, that no one has reviewed this set in particular yet that I've seen. So it comes in this is a neat little, oh, it opens the other way. I'm backwards. That's the way it works for me. And, oh, they have a swatch card here. Well, I'll leave it in here so I can see what it is. Oh, look at this. So, I can't, well, let's see if I can get that out. Nope, probably not. Why do they make everything so difficult? Okay, so that comes out. Yeah, if I'm out sketching somewhere, I'm not going to have to try and pull this thing out, right? That's ridiculous, but it's supposed to lock in, I'm guessing, here. So there you go. There's your little palette, your little extra that's supposed to lock in. There we go. So that's just your extra mixing area, so you can keep your swatch card up here if you want, I guess, and then keep your mixing area down here as you're going through them. I'm going to undo all these little chiclets and put them in here. And it also came with this thing. Now, let's see if I can get it visible for you here. So, now, listen, I don't read Russian. I barely speak English. So I know I don't read Russian. And so, in my opinion, just when I first saw this, I had a little chuckle. It looks like it says, "I be people." And so that's like little robot talk. But I know that that's Russian and I'm just being an idiot. Just don't worry about that. That's just, I laughed when I first saw it. It looked like a little secret encoded message from Star Wars. That's wonderful. That means this set already has a plus in my book. So I don't see why anyone would take offense to that. All right, let me take all these out. They're actually full pans. They're not half pans. So they're a weird shaped full pan, but it's a full pan nonetheless. And I'm going to try and arrange them in a way that I would actually set them up in a palette. All right, so just for you, I'm going to go ahead and actually give you some information. I don't normally give you this information, but some people find it just that it's necessary, that they want to know. Now, just to let you know, the Lightfast rating system is, everything's 3 stars. I'm guessing that means Lightfast because it says it's a Lightfast pigment. Although I've heard companies say, hey, this is Lightfast, and it's really like a, if you go like on the scale of 1 to 8, it's like a 3, and they're like, oh, it's still Lightfast. It's still on the Lightfast scale, but according to them, 3 is like the most Lightfast. So all these are the most Lightfast, I guess. Then you have the square, which is your transparency. That's common. That's a standard thing you see in almost every kind of paint that there is, almost every company. The triangle here, okay, now I always read the triangle as staining or non-staining, but to them they call it, what do they call it? Leachability or rinseability. I'm saying, and it says, you know, if it's a regular triangle, then it's practically absence of a mark, and or if it's light or weak, or then I think they're talking about the stainability of the lifting qualities of it. That's just me, but that's what I think they're doing here. The G means granulating, and then I'm going to give you the information here for the pigments. I don't usually do that, but people seem to like when I do that. But I'm telling you, I'm going to show you down over here. No, I'm going to show you down over here. This one and this one have the same exact pigment number, and they're going to be completely different colors. I'm telling you, the only thing that pigment information is good for is not to see what color it is. It's to check the information on the pigment itself to see if it's a light, fast pigment in most situations. And that's really all it's good for. Other than that, you can say, oh yeah, but this is this color and this is this color, but it's not. They're all different colors. They're lying to you. I even have a video. I'm going to link that video down below. It's all about the lying of colors, and I'll go over that in another. You know, I already did it. You can look back there. All right, so I'm going to try and do this as concentrated as possible. Hopefully these re-wet easily. And I'm going to kind of start at the top and go down. And this is supposed to be a granulating paint. I'm on a cold pressed watercolor paper. I'm going to, I should use a bigger brush is what I should use. That's a nice color actually. I would use that. I would use this. That's a nice color. I think I would definitely use that. It's kind of, I could substitute that as like a yellow ochre in that lighter part. I think. I don't know. I mean, it's a little bit more brown than a yellow ochre. But I think I could get there with it. And up here, that's a very strong color. I don't see, that's what I mean. I don't think this triangle is talking about it says practically absence of a mark. Well, that's not very weak tinting strength right here. Maybe down here it is, but up here it's pretty good in mass tone. I don't see a problem with it. I'm going to go with a larger brush here. This next one here, I'm going to go down like this. So I'll go to this one here. Scarlet Mist. Let's see. Most of these I think are going to be pretty easy to re-wet. I don't know. And I see other people do them, and I'm going to... Oh, wow. That is a beautiful color. Where have you been hiding the paint from me? This is beautiful. Have you all seen this before? Have you ever seen this color before? Have you used any of the white night? Oh, look, the bristle, the thing fell off. Get off of there. Oh, you donkey mother. Alright, it's off of there. But my goodness, look at that color. That is a beautiful color. I think I would put that on my palette in a heartbeat. That's a wonderful color. Scarlet Mist. That is something else. Let's see if it granulates a little bit more in the area where I watered it down a little bit so nobody can yell at me. Alright, next we're going to go with Ruby Mist. Okay, maybe this one will be just as pretty. Let me just make sure I clean out my brush good. Hopefully this is going to be just as pretty of a color. Oh my goodness. Have you all known that these paints existed? Look at that color. It's absolutely beautiful. Oh, you're hiding it from me. Why didn't anybody tell me about these paints? Did I do something wrong? Did I insult you? Did I offend you in some way? I don't understand. Look, that's starting to separate. Oh my goodness. All right, now we have this Rose Mist. It looks like a purple on the box. Let's see here. Oh, that's a purple, all right. That is a purple. I'm not big on purple paints usually, but let's see if any of those colors separate out. I would like to see if the PB28 starts to separate out and the PR122 starts to separate out and you can see some different in color. That might be beautiful. As it is here, I probably wouldn't use it as much just because I don't use purple that often. But if it separates a little bit, I think I can see it a little bit. I think the red's starting to come out up here and a little bit in, well, I'm going to let these dry so we can really see it. Okay, next one is turquoise mist. I'm picky about my turquoise colors, so let's see how this looks. Oh, that is a pretty blue color. Oh, that's a pretty color. I would use that as a main blue on my palette. That could easily take, it's a very nice blue. It can easily take the place of like a cerulean, the cerulean blue chromium that I have. That can take that place. That's a pretty color. See, I thought these were garbage paints. That's what everyone said. Oh no, these are professional, but they're not really professional. They're just above student grade in the professional line. Screw you. These are beautiful paints. Now we're getting into some of the colors maybe I won't like that much. I'm picky with my greens more than my blues. So let's see. This is the Chromium Cobalt Mist. It's a green. Oh, but it's a nice green. Oh, it's a dark, deep green. A dark granulating green. How about that? How about that? I don't know if you can buy these singly, but these full pans will probably last me a very long time. I'm going to use these. These are going to be a good palette for me. Alright, let's go on to the green mist. Now we're getting into the colors. According to the box, I'm going to say I don't even like this one. But let's see. Maybe no, I definitely don't. So this is like a spring green or something like that. It's just not my thing. It's not that it's a bad color. If I was going to use it for mixing, I would say, hey, that's a great color for mixing. This almost looks like, it's good full tinting strength, and then as you come down, it just lightens up so much you can barely see it. It's not as... See, and it says that it's staining. Not that it has bad tinting strength, it's staining, so you probably can't lift it as well. That's fine. Now we have the yellowish green mist. Yeah, this is maybe oh, that's even more of a spring green now that I'm looking at it. Okay, that's the spring green right there that I'm looking at. I'm just not very fond of this. It's like a... I don't know. Now, usually... Okay, this says that these two are supposed to be very light fast. I thought that the PY3 was a little less light fast than some of the other ones, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's not the case. I don't know, but it uses... The only difference is this is the PB28 with a PY3, and this is a PB35 with a PY3, but I don't know. It's very light here as well. You can barely see it. This is one of the complaints I had with one of the other Schminke colors. I thought that it looked a little bit too light for me. It's just not very good. And now compared to that, this one looks better. And maybe I would use this for mixing. I don't think I would use that for mixing. That's beyond me. Okay, next we have a red-brown hematite. Now that... Okay, well, it's PBR7, so I don't know where they're getting the hematite from, but that's what they're saying. Okay, I can see that it's an orange-brown. Definitely an orange-brown. It's a pretty color. I use these colors all the time. The orange-browns are very nice. Reminds me of one of the Daniel Smith colors when I was swatching that out, the Granulating set, the Primatech set. That's a pretty color. You can see some granulation already. So, okay, let's just move on. Okay, so see, here's the thing. I'm looking up. I'm going to look up in the table of elements. I almost guarantee you there's no such thing as an augite porphyrite. And they're just screwing with me. They knew I was going to get the set. They knew I was going to try and pronounce these words. And they're like, oh, I know. We'll put this one in the set. That'll get them. And that's what they do. Oh, but it's a very nice color. It's very light. Very low tinting strength as far as what I'm seeing here. But it's dissolving just fine. It's just a low tinting strength. But it's a very pretty color. And you can already see it start to separate in here. And that's a nice color. I would use that color. That's definitely good for me. It almost has like a purplish undertone kind of, just a, like not a purple like this color purple, like a violet, like a, I don't know, it's a nice color. Okay, now we're looking at a gray violet granite. That's interesting, gray violet granite. That's what I thought that would, according to the name, that's what that should be, gray violet granite, but maybe it's different. Oh, this is more gray. Again, low tinting strength on this one. I had my brush all over the place in there. Just low tinting strength, but I don't know if I would use that one as much. I'm not really sure, but... Oh, well, go on to the next one. I'll go on to the last one here, and then I'm going to go back through them. It seems like for the first half of this set was... Well, actually, the only ones I really don't like are the two greens. The other ones I really like. Well, we'll go into that in a second. Okay, so the gray... What is it? Gray Rose Mist. Alright, here we go. Gray Rose Mist. Wow. That is a pretty color. That's a pretty gray color. Almost like a Payne's Gray. I would call it a Payne's Gray. I don't really see the rose as much yet, but maybe it'll granulate out. I'm not sure. So let me let these dry, and then we're going to come back to this, and we're going to go through it a little bit. Okay, so I am now in the, while I'm looking at these colors, I'm going to go into the pigment database, and I'm going to just tell you a little bit about these colors, if it's something that I'm familiar with or not. It's a yellowish brown. There's no doubt about that. In the lighter shades, if you get rid of that part there, you can pass that off for a yellow ochre. I don't see a problem with that. I think you can do that. So the PY43 is a natural yellow iron oxide. So that's great. And it has great light fastness. So they're not lying there. That's the truth there. It has a great light fastness. And it's a pretty color. And because, you know, those iron oxides, they tend to granulate a little bit. Most of the paints that I've seen that have an iron oxide name to them granulate. So I think that's a good move here. It granulates. I can see it. And it's pretty. It's a very nice color. So one of my favorite colors in the, I believe it was in the M. Graham line of gouache, was the Naphthol Red. And this is a Naphthol Scarlet Lake. So that's what the PR188 is. It's a beautiful color. I love that color red. And one thing I want to commend them about is what they did is to make a natural black. They didn't include a black pigment in here, and where it's just black settling out. They included that PG19, which is a cobalt green. So they have this cobalt green in with the red to make a natural black. I mean, it's not completely black, but you see the granulation in there. It's actually very pretty, and the lighter shades are a very nice pale pink, almost, not quite. Don't quote me on this. It's not a potter's pink, but it's close. But the mass tone is beautiful as well. I really like that color. Now, the thing I want to say about this is that while the green is very light fast, the PR188, depending on how it's used, the Naphthols are not known for their light fastness. They're like a 1 or a 2. Sometimes they're on the 2 side. So, I mean, in this mix, I'm not saying that they're lying, that this is not light fast. I'm sure it is, and I'm not going to sit it in a desert sun for 6 months and see if it fades. But I'm just saying it could be a little different here. I don't know if it's going to switch or change at all. But I mean, even a number 2 light fastness is not terrible. It's something that's going to outlive a lot of other stuff. Okay, now this is, I don't know, this is a little bit different here. So you're looking at another Naphthol Red color. Well, this is Naphthol Scarlet, this is Naphthol Red. The Scarlet just has a little bit more orangey tint to it up here. A little bit more orange. But this one here is a little bit more solid red. And it's, again, beautiful color. Probably one of my favorite colors in this whole set is right there, along with this blue that's up here. But this is probably one of my favorite. If I had to look, when I was talking about that red fuchsite and saying, man, if it just didn't have the sparkle in it, that would be great. That's that Scarlet Mist just about. It's close. I actually like that one better. And then I was talking about this Kyanite Genuine being very close to one of my favorite colors. And this is a little bit more green, but it's close to that. It's just, that's a little bit more of a lavender blue. And this is more of a true blue, a greenish blue. But they are so close. I think these two here fill my need for those two colors from the Daniel Smith line. I would just use these. Again, beautiful color. I will definitely use this. One of my favorite colors in this whole set. I think it's a beautiful color. This down here, it gets very light. It's very pretty. Mass tone is very nice. I love this tone. Okay, the Rose Mist is not one of my favorite colors, only because it's purple. But I can see a little bit of the separation. It's hard to see. There's a lot of water down here, and I still don't see the separation. So all you people who tell me that I don't use enough water, there's a lot of water here. But I'm going to try something else before we leave this video. I'm going to put down some water and then do some wet and wet and see if that brings it out a little bit better. But I'm telling you here, this is a solid purple color. If you like purple, if you like this color, then, or this bright purple color, it's a beautiful color, and it does granulate. So you're going to have a granulating purple. It's going to look pretty. If I compare it to the Daniel Smith Amethyst Genuine, there's no sparkle, of course. This is much darker than this is. Even the Royal Purple is just a different shade compared to this one. I think this is a much brighter purple if you were going to use it. It's definitely a very bright and vibrant purple, and it washes out nice too. Okay, this turquoise mist here, I love this color. This is, and I was just talking about that, but this is going to be one of my nicest blues that I'm going to have in my palette. And if I was going to put this up against the Mayan Blue Genuine, I have to say they're very close in comparison. They're not identical. The Mayan Blue Genuine has a lot more, and this is my favorite blue that is in the Daniel Smith set. I love this color. But I think this one would give it a run for its money. There's a little bit more granulation here. It kind of gets a little bit more textured. But that's a pretty color, and I really enjoy that. Okay, this Chromium Cobalt Mist. Oh, I have not spoken about any... Okay, let's go back here, because I'm a moron, and I didn't speak about any of the actual pigments in here. So PB28, everybody knows PB28 is cobalt blue. That's what it is. PB28 here, PB28 here. There, it's cobalt blue. See, this is why I don't do this, because you don't learn anything. Anyway, the cobalt blue with the PR122, which is a quinacridone magenta color. And, you know, the quinacridone magenta color is usually a little bit purple, but when you add the blue to it, it just gets hyped up blue. And so the cobalt will be the granulating part, of course, because the quinacridones do not granulate. So that's the cobalt is the only thing you're seeing granulate in here. I thought it would separate a little bit more. It didn't. That's a little bit of a letdown, a little bit of a disappointment, but that's okay. It's still a very pretty color. Okay, now here again you have the cobalt blue, and then you have the Pyrrole Red Rubine. Now, the Pyrrole Red Rubine is it's a cool red, and I don't know how much they add to this. I mean, I know what a cobalt blue looks like. I can't see how they got there by adding a little bit of red rubine to it. It just doesn't make any sense to me, but that's what they did here, and that's how they got this color. Both great colors, both, well, I would say that the cobalt blue is definitely light fast. The red rubine is, it's like a 1 or a 2, so it could be a 2. It's between 1 and 2 as far as the light fastness. So it's still good. It's still probably a very light fast color. I have no doubt about that. I wouldn't hesitate to use this in a finished piece. You see, this is why I don't go into this. I keep going back and forth. I don't do this very well, and so I usually leave it out. But I'll do this because maybe someone will benefit from the information that I'm sharing. And let's be honest, you're not learning anything from me, but that's okay. We'll pretend that you are, just to make me feel better. Okay, this one they actually got good. The name works. So this is a chromium oxide green. Well, that's what the PG-17 is. Okay? Now, I really enjoy chromium green oxide. I enjoy it in the, I think it's in the Holbein gouache set. There's a color that uses that chromium green oxide. And any one that I've ever seen, I actually enjoy the color. the fact that they're mixing it with cobalt blue, they're both extremely light fast. So this color is amazing. I'm going to use this color. It's definitely a pretty color. I enjoy it. And I like it. It does granulate, but it doesn't really separate. The colors don't separate the way that they show them. They never do. This one is probably the most that I've seen, but the rest of them don't separate as much as they say they do. They never do. But it's okay. I don't mind that as long as it granulates a little bit and I have some texture in there to work with when I do my ink work, and I can use that texture a little bit. That's fine with me. But again, this is a very pretty color and I do enjoy it. Okay, now this is they like their cobalts. They're trying to kill everybody, but that's okay. The PP20, I like cobalt blue. I think it is a nice blue. I don't use it very often, but it's a more of a true blue compared to what some people say. It's close for me. It's a more of a neutral blue. So anyway, they use that blue, and then they use this PY3. So this is the Hansa yellow, and in Daniel Smith, it's a Hansa yellow light. And the PY3 it's like a 2 in the light fast, but sometimes people use PY154 because it's a little bit more light fast, it's a little bit better, or like a PY175, like a lemon yellow, but that's okay. They use this color here. It's fine. I'm sure it's light fast because I know the cobalt is, and this is a 2, so it'll last fine. It actually separates a little bit where I can see a little bit more yellow coming out in between the granulation. But it's nice. It's not bad. It's not necessarily my color because it does lean a little bit more yellow. But it's okay. And speaking of, we have a yellowish green. Now I hate that I don't like this color. Let me tell you why. I like both Hansa Yellow Light. Well, I used to. I don't really use the yellows too much. But if I'm going to do something in yellow, I pick the Hansa Yellow Light. If I need a bright lemon yellow color, that's the one I reach for. I don't reach for the lemon yellows and that kind of stuff. I go for that Hansa Yellow Lemon. No, let me repeat that. I go for the Hansa Yellow Light. But now they're changing and they're going to a cerulean blue. Now, I love cerulean blue. It's just that I don't like this. I think they put a lot more yellow than blue in this. Made it very light. I mean, it says yellowish green. That's what it says, and that's what it is. But, man, I wish they would have just added a little bit more of the cerulean blue in here and pulled it back the other way. I'd probably love the color. It'd probably look a little bit nicer to me. So PBR7 is the standard brown iron oxide. It does go a little bit to the yellow side, so it makes it look a little bit more orange. And I was trying to look at some other ones from Daniel Smith, and I think it's similar to this. This is a little bit more reddish almost, but it's similar to the Sedona. No, that's kind of different. Now look, Schminka, this desert orange here. No, this would be better for a desert orange. It's a little bit more orange, and it's a lot nicer and a lot stronger of a color. This definitely is not. Don't even get me started on the volcano orange. That's just terrible. This is a much better color. So this color just depends on how you process it. That's how this is. And that's how most of the pigments are. Don't pay attention to all that. It's just how they process it. This is a natural red iron oxide. It's a very pretty color. It granulates beautifully. I would definitely enjoy this color. It's a little bit more red than this one down here, but it's nicer. I like it a lot. But this is in so many different things. This is basically the same pigment they use for like for the Daniel Smith burnt yellow ochre or the burgundy red ochre, and they're all different, completely different colors than this or from each other. It's just what they do with it, how they process it, and how it comes out. But I do like that color. And here we are. Again, this one here, we're looking at a brown iron oxide, which is the same exact pigment as this one. How can that be? This is a yellow orange. This is just a gray mud puddle. There's not really, there's some granulation in it, but I have no idea what I would use this color for. It's a warm, a very, very warm brown. Look, it's not even sepia-ish. Is that a word? Sepia-ish? It's not sepia-ish. It's just very, oh, I just don't even know. But something that I did realize as I have this out is that it could be that this PR102 here is this Pymentite Genuine. This could be a red iron oxide, and that's just processed that way to do that and look like that. But anyway, okay, so I did see the Volcano Brown here from Schminke. Looks very similar to this one. But I don't like this color. I don't think I could ever use this color. And this color has a little bit more of an undertone to it. There's different colors in here. I might use this color. I would never use this color. I have no idea what to use it for. Maybe just the lightest wash of something just to give it some color. But really, I have no idea. Maybe you're doing a value study or something, and you're just using a light shade here or something. That's about it. Okay, now this Gray Rose Mist. I see a slight pink undertone here, but not really. I mostly see the darker blue color that's in here. Now this leans a little bit to the redder of a blue side, but it does wash out a little bit nicer to like a Payne's grayish color. And that PB29, that ultramarine blue that everyone loves so much, it's right there. And it's a part of this. So I understand that. I don't understand though. So then they take that PG17. Well, I do understand, but they take that PG17 chromium green oxide and the PR187, which I'm not very familiar with, but that's a different. Some people call that a naphthol red, but really, it's a permanent pink. That's what the kind of thing it is. It's a permanent pink. So I guess that's the undertone, that little bit of pink undertone that I see coming through is that color. And then they have a blue that they mix with, makes it a little bit more purple, almost in this area here. And then when they mix it with that green, it gets that darker, almost black color on top. So I get it. I understand what it is, and I would actually use this color. I'm not a big reddish blue person, but I would use this color. I don't really like that ultramarine so much, but I would definitely use that. I think this area here, I probably wouldn't use it in this mass tone, but anything past that line, I would use any of this part of the color and use it for value studies or shadows or things like that. I think it looks pretty. To me, it almost looks like this Daniel Smith Indigo, but it's a little bit more gray. It's grayed out a little bit more than this one. But it's a nice color. I definitely like it better than the Daniel Smith Indigo. I think it's a nice, maybe a stormy sky. I don't know. It looks kind of nice, so I might try and use it. So once again, here's the full palette of this thing. Here's what it looks like put together in here. All the little chiclets unwrapped and put together. It's a hefty little box, actually. There's room for a brush that they don't give you, but that's fine. I may never put a brush in there. I might put a little bit of white gouache in here or something so that I can use it and mix it with the other colors. So when it's all said and done, I may use this as a palette to do some things outside. I am going to do a drawing, obviously. I'm not going to get to it in this one. This thing is gone long enough. And I'm still going to do one more thing here where I put a little bit of water down on a page and then dump these into it and see if it granulates a little bit differently or nicer or however you want to look at it. And I'll try that right now. But really, when I'm looking at this, it's a pretty picture. It's a pretty palette. I won't use this color ever. I don't see myself using this unless I mix it with something. This is the green I'd go with and see how it works. But it's a pretty palette. Everything else, you have these two and this one, I probably would not use. These three here, but the rest of them I would. And now that I know this, as soon as I'm done with this video, I'm going to go order the other set and get the other 12 in here. Those are the darker sets, like the ones that you see on YouTube. If you look up the White Nights granulating sets, they're the ones that are a little bit darker, the blues and the purples and just the darker colors in general. But I'm gonna have to look at these because there's some nice colors in here, and I may just put together, out of the both sets, might just put together a set that I might use all the time because they're pretty colors. I like them a lot. Okay, so now I'm going to put down some water. I'm going to put some paint into the water and see what happens. So I'll just pick a couple of my favorite colors and see how it works out. So I'm going to start with this blue color that I absolutely love. And just see how the granulation happens. Let's see how it goes here. This is what people say I'm doing wrong, so I want to make sure I do it right so that nobody can freak out at me ever. And now listen, when I say that, I never take anything seriously. Please don't think I do. I know I'm just joking around. I'm just goofing around. I know you are too. You're trying to help me and give me good advice, and I'm just acting like you're attacking me. I know that you're not. So don't ever think that. I'm aware of what's happening here. I apologize for having fun at your expense, but that's really what I'm doing. I'm even going to give this a little try here, this purple one here, and see if I can get it to separate a little bit. Because it shows a lot of separation on the website, on the color chart. It shows some separation. I didn't see it on the thing over there, but this could be, and like I already see here, there's a lot of separation in here. There's a lot of separation in here. I see some in here, some a little pink around the edge of the blue. So it could be that I have just done everything wrong in my entire life, and it's a miracle that I haven't walked out into traffic. All right, let's take a look here. This rose gray. I did want to see that because it's supposed to separate a little bit better. I just wanted to see how that goes. Okay, I was 100% wrong. Look at that color. That is something else. That you can see the blue and the red separate from the purple. So I don't know what I'm doing. Look, these are the colors I had. These are now the colors I have. Something's wrong with me. There's something wrong with my brain. I can't comprehend things properly. I have no problem saying it. I'm fine saying that. Now, I know that that brown looked like there was nothing in it at all, so I'm going to definitely take that and see if I can do that. This red-brown hematite thing didn't look like any separation anywhere. Let's see how that works. I'm going to zoom in on these two. Don't worry about that. For some reason, it looks like all these colors are all blown out in the screen, so I may have to tone this down a little bit so you can see what I'm seeing. But and you can see this separation is already... That is amazing. That is like something you'd put out in the celestial sky somewhere. That is a beautiful color purple. I could not get that at all. Do you see? I couldn't get... It was just thick purple, and even I watered it down like crazy, but it didn't do anything. You got to go wet into wet with these. That's what you got to do. Now, I'm going to test myself and make myself look like an idiot. Now, if this is any indication of what my life has become, I have to do this to be fair to all of you. I'm going to break this out for 1 second. All right, there's not a whole lot of this color, so let me see how this works here. We've got the indigo here that I'm going to try and re-wet this again. I'm probably going to tear off the paper, but just put some... It's very weak. So hold on. There's some coming off of here. Hold on. It's not... It is very weak. So this is the indigo from Schminke. There was also a Galaxy Rose color that I really liked from here to begin with. Let's see if that works. Okay, there was enough on that dot to pull some off. So let's see if that works. I can't get over that color. It is one of the most beautiful colors I've ever seen in my life. You can see the green completely separate out here. It doesn't look black anymore at all. It's completely separated. You can see a light bit of the pink that separates from the blue. Oh, my whole life has been a lie. I got one more for the Schminke that I wanted to try. It's the Glacier Green. Because it looks like, to me, like there should be an undertone there. and I don't see anything there when I look at the swatch, and I just want it to come out. So it's a little bit weak. Hold on there. I gotta just scrub this. That was one of the biggest complaints, is that the colors themselves come off the dot card very weak. But okay, this is the Glacier Green now. That's that one there. All right, I'm even gonna do this with a Daniel Smith color, because I know, well, I've used this before like this, but I'm just saying I think that maybe somehow things have changed on me. And my brain is not functioning normally. And this is the last one I'm going to do here. This is again another Daniel Smith color. One that I've used for a very long time, and I've done this before, so oh, that's not the right color. Don't look at that color. That's a Prussian green. Don't worry about that color. So let me see, where else do I have? I have a little spot down here. All right, I'm going to just do this little spot right here. I'm going to turn into an obsessed person. That's what's going to happen. I don't mean to be, but that's just how I am. So I'm going to turn obsessed with this and have to do this all the time now. All right, so let's take a closer look. That definitely separated. That blue, that's the turquoise mist. And you can see the blue separating out, the cobalt blue separating out. And you can see the pink in there. It's beautiful color. Here's the scarlet. You can see the green, and it looks green. It doesn't look black. It looks green. And you can see the red. It's a very... Oh my goodness, I can't believe I didn't see this before. So, again here, you can see the green clearly separate out. Very nicely done there. Oh, that's a Daniel Smith one. We'll get back to that. So, this was the gray rose mist, and you can see the gray separate out, or the blue and the green and the well, it all just kind of separates out, but you can see the pink separate out from all the other colors. And there is the star of the day. I've never seen anything like that before in my life. That is a beautiful blend. You can see all of the texture, the color kind of popping at it. Why is the ISO so high on this thing? I may have to lower this. It looks blown out on the screen. I'm hoping that it's not, so that I can come over here and show you this stuff here. But anyway, you can see the blue and the pink and the all separate from the purple, and just beautiful colors. This one did not separate that much. This is the red brown hematite, but it did granulate just fine. But it did not separate that much. And here are some of the Schmenka ones that I said, oh, they don't separate really. And here, this one separated a lot. This was I think this was the turquoise, but oh, the indigo separated out very nicely. There's a lot of blue, and you can see some pink in there. The Daniel Smith colors, I've always seen those separate because I've used them like this before. You can see the red separate out. Some people say brown, but it looks like a reddish color to me, separating out from the green. That's a Prussian green. It's not separating from anything. Now, I know what you're saying. Don't you feel ashamed of yourself for the way that you acted when everyone told you were doing it wrong, and then you did it this way? But no one ever said put it into a wet wash. No one ever said that. They just said use more water, which I did, and it didn't work. And while I do feel very ashamed of myself, it is overshadowed by the joy I feel, by the new paints that I have just acquired and I will continue to use, and I will use them a lot more. And in the next video, I will do a painting with them. He was right. Dibbo Beepo. These are the greatest paints I've ever found. I don't know why these are hidden from me. Did you know about these paints? Did you have any idea? Because I didn't. I just saw a video and someone was using some of the other colors, the other set. But I said, oh, this is the more earth tone set, which is more my speed. So I got them. They're the greatest things. I love them. I think they're amazing. Fully artist grade paints, light fast, and work very nicely. They actually do something they said they were going to do. Or at least I got them to do what they said they were going to do. At first they didn't do that, even with all the water. But then, putting the wet into wet, that's the way to use them. That's how you're supposed to do it. Okay, enough of my tiresome nonsense. So thumb up the video if you're going to get a set of these. This is what the box looks like. And take a look. I got the link down below. I know it might be, I don't know when you're seeing this. It's probably after Christmas because I'm not going to do the video on Christmas, which is the Monday. I'll probably do it the day after on the Tuesday, and that's fine too. But there's still, like, you know what's going to happen, right? You're going to have to return all your stuff anyway. The people didn't watch my other video. They didn't get you the stuff they're supposed to get you. They got you stuff that you're going to throw in a drawer somewhere. You might as well just return it and then go buy this set. That's what I'm saying. If you would like to join our community, go to illustrationsbypete.com. You can come in, you can put your own artwork on the site and promote it. You can find some inspiration in the free reference photos. You can just use them however you want in your artwork. You do not need to credit me. Or you can come into the forums and talk to some people and maybe give some advice and maybe find a little bit of information that helps you. So come check us out. All right, that's about it for me. I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.